Well, hello there, everybody. So we're going to see today the Philadelphia Independence Dolls, and they're going to be going up the Rose City Rollers, Axles of Annihilation, coming right out of Portland, Oregon. And some interesting things that we should be seeing in this game. I'd like to run over the key points of the game. With Philadelphia, the key points that we need to see is containing the Rose City's jammers. They really want to lock them down and keep them in the pack as long as possible. Also, when the opposing jammer gets out, you want to stop the bleeding. You want to play offense as soon as you lose that jammer to get your own jammer out and basically stop the bleeding. Lastly, you want to capitalize on penalties. When Rose City is in penalty problems, you want to rack up as many points as you can. And I think that if Philadelphia can do that, they are going to come out on top of this bout. Now, as for Rose City and the Axles of Annihilation, they want to stay on the track. They don't want to cause senseless penalties because the more players they out there, the stronger they are. They also want to keep the scoring passes low for Philadelphia, and they're going to want to really focus on playing strong defense. Lastly, that defense, they want to stay on the track, lock down that jammer, and keep the scoring passes, like I said, for Philadelphia at a bare minimum. I think those are pretty much the keys of the game. And I'm going to throw it back over to Randy Pan, or Just Jake, and Phil.
Who? All right, folks, we got a great bout ahead of us. The Rose City Axles of Annihilation, Philly Roller Girls, Independence Dolls. Just Jake, what do you think of the lineups we got here tonight?
Yeah, well, we're going to see a lot of, it's all about seeing the B teams play. You're seeing the future of both of these franchises, and I'm excited about who we're seeing from Rose City. Number 10, new to the Rose City Axles of Annihilation, that's Screaming Beaver. Number 1313, Whitney Griffin. Number 1701, Shaolin Spocker. Number 243, Genevieve Moore. Number 28, Alicia Nisbet-Smith. Number 322, Jenna Specht. Number 36, Lemon Stinger. Number 365, Copernicus. Number 415, Hannah Jennings. Number 503, Tess Yinger. Number 7, Monica Geigel. Number 71, Hetty Stevens. Number 808, Ishaka Sion. And K2, Amber Castaldo.
All right, and for the Independence Dolls from the Philly Roller Girls, we have number 11, Young MC, 1369, Windy Whiplash, 152, Herman Monster, 1-800, Susie Side Hotline, 21, Lay All Out Ali, 300, Long John, 33, Legend of the Hidden Trample, 357, Trixie Trauma, 37, Lex-Ray Specs, 63, The Cyclone, 67, Slamshine Alley, 88, Kong, A55, Kick Ash, and Zip Block.
So Rose City fans will see a lot of familiar faces with unfamiliar names. So a lot of the skaters are using their government names? Is that the way to say
I
it?
guess Just Jake,
sake.
they might be
Yes.
doing that.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. So I'll try to keep you up to who's who. That is going to be K2 on the line for the Axles of Annihilation, Amber Castaldo, otherwise sometimes known as Avalanche.
Aha. And now I know. And like Duke always said, knowing is half the battle. Should be an exciting bout out there today. Looking forward to it. Great officiating we've got so far at this tournament.
Yeah, it's been very sharp.
A lot of some of my favorite officials are here. I'd like to thank Eric Rock for being the head NSO. Or, no, that would be funny, but no, sorry. Eric Rock, our head referee.
All right, we got the Independence Dolls all lined up. I believe that's number 11, Young MC, jamming for Philly.
Here's a little jam for all the fellas. Trying to get through that big purple wall at the back. Great defensive work right off the start by Rose City Axles of Annihilation.
Alicia Nisbet-Smith, I believe that was a multiplayer block there, so already penalties getting going for Rose City. K2 Castaldo still caught behind the Philly wall.
Young MC able to find a big hole on the inside, plays through lead jammer.
Copernicus going offense in the pivot, trying to open up a hole in the middle there for Castaldo.
4-3 pack advantage paying off so far for the Independence Dolls, but gets knocked out of bounds, has to recycle. Great defensive work again calls off the jam advantage, Philadelphia.
That was Hannah Jennings with the takeout out there on the outside. Transplant from the other side of the world for us. We're happy to have her there. And it looks like 3-0 on that one, Phil.
3-0 run, early run up. Of course, a long, long time to go. And so far, a 4-2 pack advantage for Philadelphia. And like the King said at the beginning, penalties gonna be key. Can they get their jammer through, take advantage of this, play a little offense or play solid D, let their jammer handle it themselves? That's number 37, X-Ray Specs, lead jammer.
That's Genevieve Moore janning for Axles of Annihilation. She's got that four wall holding on to her, Phil.
Herman Munster doing a great block there at the front. Again, taking advantage of that micro pack. Finally drug out of play. Free passage through the wasteland and 5 big points up in the air for X-Ray Specs.
Genevieve Moore sees an inside line, takes it, and swing and a miss there, leaving the opening for the initial pass.
X-Ray Specs takes a big hit there by Copernicus. Calls off the jam, only picking up 1 on that one. But again, Axles of Annihilation still with that goose egg up on the board.
I was going to say, with the new rules, you really don't see a 4-2 that often.
No, you really don't. I saw one in an earlier bout that was actually a 4-4 or a 2-on-2 to start, but that's so rare anymore.
Yeah, you have to try to get penalties for that.
You don't get the Uber jams the same way you used to.
That's making the sport more competitive. That's Vishaka Sion right there, jamming around the outside, lead jammer for Rose City Axles of Annihilation.
And that looks like 1-800 Suicide Hotline. Also out of the pack, beats her way through that Portland 4-wall.
First lead jammer for Rose City. Number 808 already hits that wall, calls off the jam.
And 0 points, did manage to get the call off in time.
To 2 for Rose City and Sion.
Rose City finally getting up on the board now, so that'll be 9-2. Still so much time left to go. You were talking, Jake, about the 30-second penalties. What I'm waiting to see is teams that try and take advantage of that, figure, you know what, this penalty is worth it.
Yeah. You have a lot more affordability where you can, if you can get someone contained for 30 seconds, that's a doable thing. That's a penalty you can get away with.
Yeah, if you can, take the jammer out, could prevent you from losing, was always worth the 1 minute. But now 30 seconds, heck, that's easy.
That's number 10, Screaming Beaver finds the outside line there. Lead jammer once again for Rose City, Axles of Annihilation.
Oh, Young MC saw an open door, and that door was closed by Shaolin Spocker.
It's like going for the outside line. There's a back block called on Screaming Beaver. That's a power jam for Young MC.
And just as that happens, she manages to weasel her way out of the pack. Now on a scoring pass coming around. Will Philadelphia go? Just one blocker sent up to try and cause a little havoc.
That was Slam Shine Alley there.
One more to beat. She goes outside, holds the outside line. Amazing 5 big points for the Independence Dolls.
Slam Shine Alley only went in for a second, but it did cause movement in the pack, and they gave her a little momentum for Young MC to push out.
Just a little bit as she takes a big hit from Lemon Stinger.
That was Griffin with the hit out.
First lined up there by Lemon. So great team defense on this one right now as the Independence Dolls look on as Young MC tries to make her way through.
And they're ready to catch Screamin' Beaver, who goes on the attack. A lot of lateral movement coming from number 10 there.
Young MC hit to the outside again by Stinger. She's got to come back in, recycles, trying to get through one at a time, dodging in, out, staying to the middle though right now so she doesn't get knocked out.
And wedge offense set up by Philly gives her the opening. Screaming Beaver, meantime, gets all the way around on a scoring pass now, Phil Dirt.
Another grand slam put up by Young MC. No lead jammer, so of course we will go the full 2 minutes.
Nice awareness from Screaming Beaver on re-entry there. Didn't take the cut track. 4 points there. She passed the skater out of play, but no penalty.
2 more points put on the board for the Independence Dolls. Great showing so far for both of these teams. Feeling each other out, I think, a little bit to start with.
12 points for Young MC to get going.
Big, strong jam for Young MC. Still 24 minutes, 20 seconds left. 21-10.
That's Amber Castaldo, number K2, jamming for Rose City Axles of Annihilation.
Trying to get through, but a big purple wall. Looks like Herman Monster with the star on. Herman Monster taking big hits there from Copernicus.
Both teams going heavy D, and it looks like Ziploc, dropped Castaldo to the outside.
Lead jammer there by Herman Monster.
And there's the first pass there for Castaldo.
Herman Monster goes to the outside, gets knocked out of bounds. Great hit there by number 415, Hannah Jennings. And Herman Monster's going to call that one off. Only 1 point on the board.
Another beautiful outside hit from Hannah Jennings. She's defending the outside line really well with a very powerful hit.
Philadelphia's going to have to realize when she's on the track, maybe not go to the outside so much.
Maybe take the middle, take the inside.
Take the middle, take the inside.
Got options.
She's also been hitting people to the inside, so we'll see. Just kind of hooding on a checking clinic early in this game.
Genevieve Moore up on the line, 243 for Rose City. And lead jammer now for Rose City.
Oh, big hole by the Philadelphia defense on the outside. Number 37, Lex-Ray Specs out there jamming for the first time for Philadelphia.
Griffin with the hit, but Monica Geigel with the catch and taking her to the back.
Trying to crawl her way through the middle now, ducking to the inside. Great defensive pile on there by Rose City.
Second time that Genevieve Moore finds the outside, 5 points.
That's going to put them up 20-22. Still, Lex-Ray Specs not able to get out of the pack. Another big hit by Schellensbacher and Whitney Griffin.
Monica Geigel picks up a cut track penalty, taking her out of that defense, but the rest of the skaters are still holding it down there.
Finally, Lex-Ray Specs able to get out of the pack with a hip check goodbye by Whitney Griffin.
4 more points by Genevieve Moore there on that jam. That was a 14-point jam there.
14-0. That's going to put Rose City in the lead for the first time here tonight. But a long way to go and a long time to get there.
This is what I wanted to see. I was hoping for and expecting a really competitive bout here, Phil Dirt.
Thank you, Just Jake. And again, a 4-2 pack. Rose City getting in penalty trouble again. We'll see if that pays off. Looks like 1-800 suicide hotline out there jamming.
Despite the 4-2 difference, 808 Sion gets out for lead jammer. Incredible work on her part.
Philadelphia doing a little offensive blocking, finally knocking the blockers off the floor and paving a free pass.
Vishaka Sion taking advantage of the scattered defense there for a quick 4 points.
Does not call it off as she looked back, saw that Suicide Hotline already in the pack, so she picks up 4 points.
But she also probably trying to get some of her blockers back onto the line there. She didn't want to be working that hard the whole time.
Exactly. A little easier now, 3-0 advantage for Rose. So great work by the Rose players getting off, even though they're down 2 blockers to start with, get both players out of the box, put up some points. Now Philadelphia down 1, 4-3 pack advantage for the Axles.
Bunch of ducking skaters in the back there. They don't want us to know who's jamming.
I know that Zip Block is out there. I know.
That's the one number we see.
Ziploc with a good knockout hit, too.
That was Screaming Beaver. She took the outside, jamming for Rose City.
And there's Young MC taking the outside line, finds an open gap. Lead jammer, Philadelphia.
Now Philly with only 2 blockers out there. Nice containment, but that's all Screaming Beaver needed for the inside line to get her initial pass.
And, you know, Just Jake, you don't have to run as long to get those players out of the box anymore. Young MC making her way around, keeps looking over her shoulder to see where Screaming Beaver is, picks up 2.
That was a great hit from Tess Yinger, number 503, with the drop there, forcing the call off and holding to 2 points, it looks like, on that last pass.
Yeah, 31-28, still so close. A really good game so far right now. I always like these B team games. You see what the future is. maybe some people that are really challenging to get on the main all-star team. Some people that maybe just don't want to put that much time in it. But always enjoyable.
They're fighting not just for the team they're playing right now, they're fighting for the team they want to get on. Nice run on the outside there by Amber Castaldo, number K2, lead jammer.
Put on the jets and fired right off. That's 1-800 suicide hotline. Hit to the inside, recycles, dodges to the inside again and makes it through.
Hannah Jennings set up a little screen there for Castaldo to get through. 4 points for number K2, and Rose City pushing the lead ever so slightly.
Just a little bit of lead, just a little bit. Great action so far. Again, Rose City setting up on the jammer line. Philadelphia with, again, only 2 blockers on the floor.
So now it's a little switch around from the keys to the bout where Rose City staying on the track. Now it's an opportunity for Philly. They got to get out there and keep their skaters out there, start capitalizing.
I've seen several jams so far. Philadelphia does, or Rose City does exactly that. Opens the outside lane, comes around and picks up lead jammer.
Genevieve Moore, that's exactly how she did it last time too.
It seems to be working. They're controlling the pack. Now out there, Long John jamming for the first time for the Independence doll.
Drop to the outside. A nice two-wall there, and I believe that was Ziplock with the hit. Ziplock with the hit.
Whitney Griffin finally giving up the ghost there on Long John. She gets out, but that jam's called for 5 points for the Axles of Annihilation.
Nice defense from Ziplock holding her on the outside that whole time. They could have been another scoring pass there, but... And we have everyone out there.
Oh, the penalty box is empty. If Mildred Fierce was here, there would be milkshakes for everyone. But she's not, so no milkshakes for anyone.
I hope she's listening, and I hope she brings us a milkshake.
40 points right now. Rose City. Rose City in purple. Philadelphia in red, just in case you were wondering.
Vishaka Sion jamming again for Rose City. Rose City sticking with a pretty tight jammer rotation.
Herman Monster out there for the Independence Dolls.
1701, Shaolin Spocker with a beautiful block/screen on the outside, giving the opening to Vishaka Sion, who's lead jammer.
Tess Yinger with a couple of hits there on Herman Monster, but she manages to pop free.
Wide open outside. Look at it. 503 Tess Yinger going from offense or defense, resetting quick to offense, making that opening happen and making a quick scoring pass. That's one of my favorite things to see, Filter, is quick transition, defense to offense for blockers. As a fan of Derby, I always love watching that. It was great execution for number 503.
It's a great thing to see. It also shows who has the better track sense out there to be able to say, okay, I know where everybody on the track is. I need to pay attention here and block this person so my jammer can get through right after I get done blocking their jammer.
On the inside, Screaming Beaver, that was a great setup there. On the inside, Hannah Jennings with the offense.
Young MC trying to get out there. Copernicus going to the sin bin for her hit on Young MC, and Young MC gets free passage through the wasteland.
There's a forearm call on her. I did not see the call on Hannah Jennings, I'm afraid. 4 points nonetheless for Screaming Beaver, despite the 4-on-1 disadvantage.
Oh, a nice hop, skip, and a jump, picking up all 4 points. Just a little slow on that call-off. And I don't know if that's the referee or the jammer, but I have never understood the, I'm going to wait until the last possible second. Hey, they got 4 points. Curses.
Wow.
So
That's fast. Yeah, she only needed to pass one person for that scoring pass. That was it.
And she got a hop, skip, and a jump, made it through.
Yeah, Rose City had 4 lead jammers in a row and 70 points in the last 4 jams. Now we have the deficit here with the blockers. We'll see if Castaldo can get through again, and she does. Wow, Filder.
Long John stuck behind that great Rose City 2-wall of the only 2 people on the floor. Managed to recycle all the way to the front and still doing all kinds of damage.
That's Jenna Specht out there and Alicia Nisbet-Smith, who was in the last jam, so she might be waiting to take a penalty.
I believe she could be in the queue, which you don't see. Yes, you see the NSOs holding up a sign. A huge hit in corner number 3. And 5-0 advantage Axles of Annihilation. My stars and garters.
Yeah, I think Castaldo's seeing stars after that hit. That was good aggressive play from the Independence Dolls.
Putting into a zip block with a couple of really good hits in that last one. Seems to have a really good head on her shoulders, knows when to hit people on, when to zip backwards. No pun intended.
If you're going to play a hitting game, then you have to have precision. And so far, both Ziploc and Hannah Jennings have had strong hitting games so far. Everyone else is sticking with containment, and it's working.
Seems to work pretty well. And again, containment going on there as we see Lexray Specs out jamming for Independence Dolls.
Genevieve Moore almost has the inside line, number 243, but takes the outside instead to the penalty box.
Blocking with the head call.
She was kind of going in on the straightaway. I think that's may have been where she got the call.
Lexray Specs manages to dodge off a hit there from Spocker and lead jammer.
Huge opportunity. We do have 4-on-4, but this power jam, if Independence Dolls play some offense, they might be able to get something going.
I worked on that time, the passive offense. The pack opened up, and 5 points on the board for Philadelphia.
That's one of the things with the 30-second penalties is you got to capitalize. And there goes Ziploc.
Oh, Ziploc, though, gets a forearm call on that.
Applaud the effort.
Exactly. At least she got it. Oh, outside lane, again open. Philadelphia is going to have to learn to control the lines here coming up, Just Jake.
Looks like we have another illegal procedure. That's a 1 minute penalty.
Oh.
1 minute power jam. I didn't see the initial call, but there was a second late report. So Genevieve Moore just collecting points right now. That's another 5-point scoring pass.
IP coming in from the outside on that. I don't know exactly what the call was. Maybe she took her mouth guard out.
I think it was late call off. She had another one, so I think it's a 1 minute penalty. I think it's 2 penalties.
I think you're right. Whatever the initial call was, I didn't see, but then there was an illegal procedure after that. Illegal procedures, small amount of things it could be, I'm going to guess.
Beautiful offensive attack from the entire Rose City blocker core, opening up the inside for a quick 5 for Genevieve Moore.
Even just, you could see the look on Ziploc's face when she turned around, saw the jammer behind her, and was like, rats, there's no way I'm getting there. So big advantage for Rose City on that.
15 points for Genevieve Moore here.
Big jam.
Rose City pushing out a little bit, 68-40. I think 2 things that Philly got to be thinking about right now. It's number 1, keep your skaters on the track. Take advantage of offense. We've seen a couple of offensive opportunities they haven't capitalized on. I think a little bit more will go a long way in this.
I think you're exactly right. And again, I think controlling the lines, well, of course now they're letting them through in the middle.
Vishaka Sion pushes out for lead jammer.
Lexray Specs standing up in the penalty box, so just about done with this power jam.
I like the divide and conquer happening here, and now they're setting up to catch Lexray Specs. While Vishaka Sion is let go on a no pack warning.
5 more points picked up by Axles of Annihilation. Lexray Specs out of the box, but still on her initial pass, trying to dodge to the outside. Oh, and gets creamed.
I was Copernicus with the hit there, 365. Meanwhile, Vishaka Sion gets through on the inside for another 5 points.
And great floor strategy there. As soon as she comes back in, the purple wall sets right back up and just causing her all kinds of fits. Oh, huge hit.
That's Copernicus with the multiplayer block. You cannot hold on to your teammate to block the path of an opponent. And there you go, Vishaka Sion trying to navigate that wall. Independence Dolls have locked down their defense there.
Finally getting out of the pack is number 37, Lexray Specs.
Vishaka Sion pushes out 20 feet for another 4 points.
4-2 pack advantage right now for the Independence Dolls. That jam comes to an end.
Ended just in time for the Liberty Dolls to start with a 4-2, get lead jammer, but Rose City sitting comfortable at 82-40.
Still a lot of points, but just under 10 minutes left in the first period. Looks like they're going to send out 1-800-SUICIDE hotline for Philadelphia Independence Dolls.
Looks like a little change up on the blocker core. I think they're putting out a defensive line out there for Rose City.
Philadelphia trying to take that outside line, learning a lesson from Rose, but since Rose already knew about that trick, they shut that down immediately.
10 Screaming Beaver going all by herself against that four wall. Gets dropped to the inside.
Oh, and Lead Jammer stolen by Suicide Hotline. Came in on the outside just as Beaver was going to the inside.
And looks like now there's the offense. Philly doing a little divide and conquer there, trying to split up the pack.
2-3, even though she called it off. You always got to go till that fourth whistle.
You got to anticipate that fourth whistle too.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all in the timing. Is that Young MC out there?
I believe, yes. Yes, it is. And then I think Rose City has a jammer, but we can't quite make her out from here.
They definitely have a jammer.
There she is.
Oh, it's Castaldo, Amber Castaldo, number K2. Nice one-on-one defense on Castaldo there in the back.
Young MC trying to bust a move to the outside.
Lemon Stinger picked up a penalty. Well done, Phil.
Thank you. Lead jammer, Young MC.
4-3 pack advantage for Philly. Well, no, 3-3 now.
3-on-3, a little bit of a speedier pack this time, though. Rose City seeing that the Young MC is closing on, so they want to put on some speed, try and outrun her.
Force the call off and protect those points, and they did both very successfully.
Great work. That's just going to kill some time off the clock. They find themselves up by 43 points. Might as well start running the clock down, making the clock the #1 enemy of Philly. But, oh, that's right. There's one more whole period left after this.
Yeah, the clock is friendly to everybody right now.
Yeah, plenty of time left. 7.5 minutes left in the half.
But soon, the clock. And nice inside lateral movement from Genevieve Moore. She is lead jammer, number 243 for Rose City.
I believe that is, yes, Legend of the Hidden Trample jamming for her first time for the Independence Dolls.
Multiplayer picked up by Copernicus there. That's at least her third right now.
4 points on the board for Rose.
We got nice point protection in front.
Oh, manages to just call it off. Legend of the Hidden Trample with Nada Panada on that one.
Almost as she was racing in on the inside.
Just could not get her hits in the front of the opponents, so gets shut down. Rose City starting to kind of run away with this. Long way from over, though.
Yeah, lots of nickels and dimes right now working out for them.
One big jam for either side could bust this wide open.
Absolutely. We have an official timeout here.
Crash Test ref calling an official timeout. I believe he is our head referee. Sugar Daddy, our front pack ref. Oh no, now he's one of the jam refs. Excuse me.
Well, despite the score, I don't think there's a lot Philly needs to do to get back in this. I think just work on containment, switch to offense when you have the opportunity. You see them playing it. It's in their, it's in their deck.
Yeah,
they have it there. It's the timing with it, timing the defense to offense transition, keeping their skaters out there, a little bit of that, and timing the containment a little bit, and they can get back in this and span a
easy. It's the little things they have to work with. Exactly, the containment. I think breaking down those outside, inside walls. They're so far doing relatively well containing the middle of the track, but that's not where they're losing all the lead jammers to.
Vishaka Sion being now held to the center as we're saying that.
Young MC trying to go to the outside, but getting shut down by 13-13 Whitney Griffin.
We have a multiplayer block by Wendy Whiplash there, 1369.
Young MC, oh, great attempted assist to pop it open by Slamshine Alley.
Vishaka Sion finds the inside line after going for the outside, but Philly doing a great job protecting it that time.
Again, one last hip check. Oh, that's going to be an out-of-play penalty.
And it's
so
yeah.
Young MC gets freed as Griffin heads off to the sin bin for an out-of-play.
Beautiful offensive block by 365. Copernicus making the opening there for Vishaka Sion's 4-point scoring pass.
Vishaka Sion keeping track of where the jammers is. and does manage to call it off for 0 points there for Philly. That was good. When they wait just a little bit too long, so you catch that half a second that the ref looks away and then get mad. It's like, well, you did have the whole lap to call that off, but that one very nicely done. Good work by Short Fuse, or Jam Ref out there, to call that off right as soon as you called it.
4-2, and you know, they're trying to hold off. They're trying to empty out the penalty box because, as the King mentioned at the beginning, that's going to be an issue here. And so now here's Philly's opportunity. Here's their key to the game to exploit it, taking advantage to try to get past Alicia Smith and Hannah Jennings, and she does. Lead jammer 1-800 Sioux East Side Hotline.
Screaming Beaver, gets the no pack and gets the free passage out.
Screen set up by the Independence Dolls, giving a quick scoring pass.
And manages to get through, calls it off 4-0, just in the nick of time, gets that call off as Screaming Beaver was screaming into the pack. So finally, Philly gets some points on the board. It's been a little while.
It's been a little while, but that was well executed. I know the fans back home are like, more of that, please, Philly.
Yes, please.
We like that.
That thing you did where you put points on and the other team didn't, please continue doing that.
Well, another capitalizing opportunity is they have the 4-3 advantage.
Legend to the hit and trample out again for her second jam.
I like that. Get a little power there with the jammers. Oh, we got Castaldo, Amber Castaldo, number K2. Jamming. Nice footwork from Amber Castaldo. Dances around the last line of defense for lead jammer.
And still trying to get up. Great pack work there by Rose City, but finally she gets out. The Legend to hit and trample free.
Amber Castaldo goes flying over the inside, does not stick the landing, crawls back in, calls it off 0-0.
Good track awareness, though, see where she was. So the other jammer wasn't in the pack yet. Figured 2 zeros are better than her getting points, and me not. So just about 3 minutes left.
Pack advantage for Rose City now, and Genevieve Moore jamming. Number 243.
Young MC, number 11.
Once again, around the outside, Genevieve Moore.
Kick Ash did put a hit on her, so she was touched, but couldn't quite stop her.
Nice catch from Shaolin Spocker on the inside as Young MC's trying to drive through there.
Just great swarming defense. Oh, and a big hit there by Moore on Young MC. Knocks her down, picks up an extra point.
Wow, that was like defense and offense literally at the same time.
Oh, that was beautiful.
With that jammer hit.
Oh, tearing through, one more to beat, turns on the Jets, makes it through, grand slam, Rose City.
Lemon Stinger there going great one-on-one defense in the back of the pack. You have the triangle up front waiting for Young MC.
Lexray Specs with a really good hit there, knocking out 243 more.
The cut is drawn. Copernicus gets the cut on Young MC. It's now a power jam for Genevieve Moore.
Nice work by Copernicus. She's been putting on a hitting clinic and then drawing that penalty, just icing on the cake for already a good afternoon.
Hannah Jennings gets the opening in the middle there, and then an out of play is assessed on Kick Ash. That sets up 5 more points for Genevieve Moore.
And 4-3 gets knocked out again by Lexray Specs.
I'm thankful to the new rule about incidental contact, because that could have been a cut called there. But I like that in the new rule set that, you know, cutting has to be an active thing, and incidental step out while you're trying to get back.
It's so much nicer because nobody wants to see a parade of jammers going to the box, except the other team, of course.
Yeah, of course, there's that. But if the jammers making the effort to get back, I think it's great that we're rewarding them for that effort.
Yes, it's much, much nicer than the pinky cut from the third set.
That was a 20-point jam for Genevieve Moore.
Very nice work. And again to the outside. Screaming Beaver ducks to the inside, though, just to change things up. Lead jammer.
I think she read that hit from Zip Block, so she got out of the way. And now, Bold engages Zip Block on the outside.
Hit to the outside, and
The cut was drawn. Great awareness there.
Oh, great work by Philadelphia.
Our man Monster is the one who drew the cut track there. It's Power Jam for Philly.
And Young MC now on a Power Jam, trying to find some purchase in that purple wall. No dice so far. Big pile up, and again hit by Whitney Griffin. Whitney Griffin also putting on a great night so far.
Someone got, I think an out of play was his cess to Griffin.
Whitney Griffin got the out of play. There was a no pack. She hit Young MC out of bounds, so that's going to draw that penalty.
Nice draw to the inside. I believe that was Tess over there, 503.
And then
to the inside.
The pass off to Herman Monster. Herman Monster out of the pack.
And picks up a forearm. That's going to be Power Jam now for Rose City.
I was going to say the Star Pass rules have been such simplified in the new rule set. I got to say I love them. They're so much easier to understand. But forearms are still penalties the exact same way they were before.
Yeah, they're not going to be much different. Once again, Screaming Beaver going, attacking, there, zip block.
Those two are going to be having nightmares about each other coming up. Out of play finally declared. Beaver gets free passage.
No touching, no touching, no touching.
We're not touching her. We're not touching her.
Rose City setting up a trap offense. Missed those.
Nice triangle at the front for Philadelphia. Oh, but one goes down. That's going to be out of play declared.
Great offense from Tess Singer there.
The Cyclone finally had to give her through, and then 5 points picked up there by Rose City.
Looks like Alicia Nisbet-Smith took a little fall there at the end of that.
All right, that's going to be halftime. Just Jake, 34 points for the last 2 jams for Rose City's Axles of Annihilation.
That is bananas. They capitalized on the Power Jam opportunities. They capitalized on offense. It looks like we're going to have an official review at the end there. I'm gonna take a stab at this one. I'm going to take a guess, apropos of nothing. I'm wondering if they're reviewing a hit after the whistle.
I think that's probably a pretty good guess. Looked like it may have been.
It was on the fence.
Yeah, definitely.
But I could see someone reviewing that. I mean, you have the review. It's the end of the period. Why not?
It'll go away if you don't use it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You might as well.
So we'll get the dirt on that as soon as we can. Let's. Well played, sir. Well played.
All right. So we'll be back here in about 10-ish minutes-ish or so. All right, folks, we're back. I'm with Just Jake on Phil Dirt. We're going to throw it over to the King right now to talk us about the points of the game that we've seen so far.
Power jams, almost even.
All right, we slight technical problem. Let's, King, start that all over again.
Well, the tails of the tape right now. Rose City, they've had 23 jams, and so far the game has been pretty good. We've got a score of 123 for Rose City, 46 for Philadelphia. But the penalties right now, Rose City's got 20 penalties, whereas Philadelphia only has 14. They've had 15 lead jams, though, in Rose City, as opposed to Philly's 8. That's where the points are coming from. Right now, your lead scorer is Moore, sitting with 61, whereas Young MC's got 21. Let's see how the second half plays out. Back to you guys.
All right, starting this off, we've got 1-800 Side Hotline.
And number K2, Amber Castaldo in purple for Rose City.
Oh, big pile up at the front of the pack. No penalties called out there at all, but K2 does pick up lead jammer.
Speaking of no penalty, the review at the end of the half was on whether or not 13-13 should have got the penalty, and instead the jammer should have got a low block call instead, but no call stands.
The good old, you're going to review a call? Well, then I'm going to review a call, too. Both jammers out of the pack.
K2, late call off there. 2-2 each team there.
Wow, that was a really good hit there, though, by, I believe, Long John right at the end of that, so that may have been why she couldn't call it off in a hurry. So a lead jammer advantage, I think we saw that. We talked about that. Philadelphia needing to control mostly the outside line. try and get someone over there.
Either lock down the outside or have your own game plan, have your first pass plan in play to get. You want to mitigate that.
Of course,
The matchups are pretty tight, so Lead Jammer's clearly having a big impact.
also, though, in that first jam, Rose City with their bench closest to the jammer line, so they were able to line up, and now we've seen Philadelphia lining up in back, but
Screaming Beaver racing around the outside once again.
out there for Philadelphia, Herman Monster.
Monster shrugged off a nice force out from Hannah Jennings, but stayed in play. Nice job there. It's going to be 4-0 for Rose City.
Screaming Beaver shrugs off a hit, some zip block there at the end of that one.
The Jammers are just not taking it from either one of those blockers anymore.
It's true. So number one scorer for Philadelphia in the first half, a young MC out there with the star up on bars.
Vishaka Sion out there. She's ducked behind the wall there. There she is. Number 808.
Trying to take the inside. Young MC, that door is closed. Now tries to jog to the outside, tries the inside. Get taken down there by number 71, Hetty Stevens.
Nice power from Sion there as she's able to spread out that defense a little bit.
And big purple wall and back. Young MC not having any luck.
Looks like an out of play is warned, so they have to let her go. Lead jammer, Vishaka Sion, number 808.
As she comes back around, passing Young MC.
Looks like, yes, that's a back block on the outside. She came in and she gauged right between the shoulder blades, dropped the opponent.
They can't be doing that. If you see their numbers, you have to stop. Well, you know, the ones right in the middle of their back.
Those numbers.
Young MC knocked to the outside again and has to reset all the way back.
This is where Philly wants to see some offense. Nice little attack there on the inside, but she was dropped.
And that's going to get handed over to Long John. Long John now trying with the star. Oh, no, Young MC, no luck getting out of the pack at all. Oh!
Wow, that's going to be forearm, it looks like, on 13-13 Griffin.
Forearm called, so free passage out for Long John.
I like to start past the Long John. Take the power on the power jam.
Exactly. Long legs moving about, hops on her toe, stops to the outside, holds the outside line from that big hit from number 71, Eddie Stevens. Comes through for 5 points, Philadelphia.
It was a great offensive block there. I had a bad angle on it, so I didn't get to see who set it up, but nice move on Philly with that last pass.
Vishon making her way to the inside, takes another hip check.
Sion's out for 4.
Long John trying to make it through. A cut call there on Slamshine Alley. She'll go to the sin bin.
And the jam is called right before Sion can get back in there. 3 more points picked up by Long John.
A late hit call there on someone on Philadelphia.
There we go.
They blended in with the crowd.
Oh, that's going to start them off with a 4-2 favoring Rose City.
So at 4-2, they're going to try and stick out Suicide Hotline.
And it's K2 Amber Castaldo out there.
And again, we're seeing Philadelphia with their bench closer to the jam line. They set up right on the jam line.
Rose City with the square defense in the back there.
Couldn't stop her. Ziploc put a couple of good hits on, but K2 Amber Castaldo manages to make it through lead jammer.
Suicide Hotline trying to force out 20 feet, though. Nice, strong defense at the end there from Tess Yinger and Copernicus.
Finally does. Sugar Daddy puts up the chop. Gotta let her go.
Quick outside pass from Castaldo for 4 points. Calls it off. Lead jammer, lead jammer, lead jammer, lead jammer, lead jammer, lead jammer, lead jammer. Phil.
It's like it has a very big advantage,
really
just
does.
Jake.
That's Philly's focus right now. Philly's got to start getting those first passes in their favor.
Definitely. Have they had a lead jammer so far in this half? I don't believe so.
I don't think so. Yeah, it's 4 in a row lead jammers. Yeah, for Rose City.
And that one's going to stop. Oh, I believe we had a delay of game. That's going to be Sunshine Alley. Did not report to the penalty box, so she'll get the extra 30 seconds on top of the 30 seconds she already owed to sit down in.
What's it like to sit for 1 minute in the penalty box?
1 whole minute. Well, you know, you sit in the box for 1 minute and you feel shame, and then you get free.
Well, this is going to be making it a little difficult for that whole lead jammer thing for Philly.
Our head referee, crash test ref, going to explain it to the Rose City coach and to his coach from Philadelphia. A little bit of chaos on that one, but that's what usually happens when you call the jam dead. There's a little bit of chaos.
Yeah, especially that 1 second into the jam. Not to be confused with Herman Monster, but that's the coach for Rose City, and I'm not making this up, Herman Munster out there.
But they're from different families.
Yeah, different families. Not
Munster
the
and Monster.
Monster family. And Herman is a very common name.
It's true, yeah. And
I
I think they might be related, but that goes back a long
way.
Since they first emigrated from Transylvania.
That's where I was going. All right, we're back out there. Screaming Beaver, attacking on the outside. And now the inside.
Speaking of Herman Monster, fights off a couple of big checks on the inside. Lead jammer for Philadelphia. Independence Dolls, first lead jammer of the half.
Looks like a multiplayer block in front there makes the opening for Screaming Beaver.
Yes, even signaling it as she goes to the box. That's Kong.
Despite the 4-2, Herman Monster gets 4 points on that.
4-0 run. Independence Dolls need a lot more of those coming up to get back in this game. 141-60, but still 23 minutes, a long way to go yet.
Well, it seems like they switched a jammer rotation to more of a strength-based rotation. I think that's a good move against Rose City. Get the powerful ones out there, the ones who can make their own openings and just set everyone else on defense, who create more first pass opportunities that way.
Yeah, they were getting swallowed up by the 3 walls, the 4 walls, the triangles, and the squares. Oh, a huge hit there.
Nice dancing off of it from Genevieve Moore, lead jammer.
And here comes the legend of Hit and Trample trying to get out, but again, has getting all kinds of hung up. Tess Yinger with a couple of good hits there, but out of play, so they're both going to go to the box. That's a 3-1 pack advantage.
It looks like it's called off there with 3 for Genevieve Moore, but coming into a huge blocker deficit here. Here's another thing the power-based blockers are doing. They're creating penalties for Rose City.
It's true. Very heavy penalties. However, there was only 1 skater with 4. Everybody else kind of spread out, so not one big penalty taker in the first half.
I believe the one on 4, if I'm not mistaken, was Copernicus.
I believe you are correct.
All right, that's Castaldo out there jamming for Rose City.
And putting her shoulder down, 1-800-SUICIDE hotline.
Nice skipping there on the inside from Castaldo for her initial pass. And Philly going for trap offense.
The old trap. Oh.
And a late call.
Calls it off 3, and all 4 picked up there. Great apex jump, albeit as soon as she got that foot down inbounds, took a huge hit.
Yeah, but it looked like she was inbounds and up before the hit, which is, you get the points.
Exactly. All she's got to do is get that skate inbounds, be in control, and then whatever happens next is whatever happens next.
You were talking about the timing, though, on the call-offs. That 4 points was the difference of 1 second there.
Official review. I bet I can guess what this is.
I bet I know what you're going to guess.
It could be, possibly, about that apex jump and the 4 points. So we'll find out what the officials have to say about that. I'm assuming, of course. I could be wrong. It could be an entirely separate issue. No one listening to this believes this could be an entirely different issue. I understand.
So we got 21 points for Rose so far this period, and 12 for Philly this period.
5-2 in the lead jammer. 7 jams in, 21:05 left on the clock. Referees all talking about what it is referees talk about in the zebra huddle.
I really like the Philly adjustments here. I like the Philly adjustments with the jammer rotation, and I think they're reinforcing the defense a little bit.
I think all of the changing of the setup, being able to grab the jammer line, I think while it hasn't affected them too much, I think long term it's going to. It hasn't been as many lead jammers in a row for Portland as it was for Philadelphia.
And that's still going to be the key. The adjustments are great, but lead jammer is still the name of the game for Philly. You got 85-point differential, 20 minutes, enough time to do it. But if you're going to do it, lead jammer is the way to do it. You can't split lead jammer here on out with Rose City. You got to take a huge advantage of it. If it's the nickel at a time, great. If it's huge power jam opportunities, great. But looks like we're going to get a word on the review here, Phil.
Crash test ref at ya.
So if you guys can't make it here,
all right, so the call on the floor is going to stand. She did land her foot in bounds, so she gets the 4 points. She just took the hit immediately thereafter. That's what knocked her down. The actual apex jump, stayed on her feet, had control, and then got pasted. So 4 points rightly counted up there for Rose City.
You were like Nostradamus with that.
I've got that ESP. And
that's a different channel.
oh yeah, sorry. Herman Monster finds a big hole on the outside. Huh, it's like they're using Rose City's playbook against him.
It looks like she's trying to find a way through.
And that was fantastic offensive blocking there. They're not only defensive, but they confused the Rose City blockers enough, opened up the inside. Herman Monster able to come through, pick up 5 points. Oh, and a ref goes down hard on the outside.
That was Tess Yinger with the hit to the skater into the ref. It looks like
somebody's picking up a cutting call.
Sion did not get points getting through that. Neither. Wow, 0-0 on that pass.
On that last pass, but 5 points were picked up by Herman Monster on that nice work by the Pack defense. Defense, offense, all at the same time. Oh, it makes me so happy.
It's a fun sport. We got 4-3 blocker advantage for Rose City.
It looks like Young MC only her second jam in the half. Huge block there by Ziploc.
And Young MC is able to muscle through the 4-wall for lead jammer.
Just avoids that hit by Monica Geigel. Ziploc, all kinds of blocking out there today. Ziploc again.
Just enough awareness there from Genevieve Moore, and only 2 points picked up by Young MC.
Hit out of bounds, but also hit with a stop or a clockwise block, I believe there. At least that's what I saw signaled. I don't see. There she goes. So she'll sit down in the sin bin, feel shame, and then be free in about 30 seconds or so of playtime.
Before we know it. So they're starting 3-3, but we got a standing blocker for Philly. And Screaming Beaver on the attack.
I can hear her screaming from here.
And we're on the outside, number 10, Screaming Beaver, lead jammer.
Suicide Hotline forces a hole in the center of the pack to get out. That's what you were talking about there, Jake, is the ability of these Philly jammers to just put their shoulder down and fight their way through.
And it's working out great. It looks like gets through 3-0 on that. And Phil, I tell you what, man, I seriously saw a skating out of bounds penalty coming, and I guess it got called off beforehand.
And here comes an official review, and I have a feeling, I have another premonition that what you were talking about may be what the review is about.
Yeah, well, I mean, if she got it called off before she went out of the bounds, that's legit. So I had a weird angle on it, so that's what I assumed why it wasn't a call.
Yeah, it is possible she made contact. I couldn't see all the angles. Our view is different, of course, from what the referees see. And if she makes any kind of contact, well, that could have forced her out of bounds.
Exactly. So she wasn't trying to avoid a hit. She got ducked out.
You'd have seen a number of teams over the past year or so adopt the I'm going to poke this player with my finger, and that forces them to go out of bounds so they can go skate to the back of the pack.
But yeah, the what do you call that? An offensive defensive assist?
Yes. But it's enough to get them out of bounds. Could they really do it with their finger? Well, sure, of course they could.
Technically. That was a quick decision.
All right, so crash test ref talking to the various captains and assistants, or alternates, whatever you want to call them.
And I see head shaking from Hannah Jennings, a captain there, which means it probably favors Philly.
I saw a stern head nod by Philadelphia's captain there.
Ow.
Number 63, the Cyclone.
Here's the official word, we think. Called it.
All right, there you have it.
So, yeah, they were reviewing skating out of bounds, but the whistle blast started before she went out of bounds, so it remains a no call.
So she hadn't skated all the way out of bounds. She was still in a straddling position and had established herself as such, and had not established herself at an out-of-bounds state, so no call on the track. And I think that is both teams' reviews for this half. Since neither one got it right, they don't get the extra review.
No more guessing for us. That is Amber Castaldo jamming number K2 for Rose City.
Herman Monster just takes the great work using the blockers against him, takes a hit off number 28, Aleka Nisbet-Smith, and then uses that to dodge another block.
Nice catch from Lemon Stinger on the outside. Amber Castaldo baits her initial pass.
Lemon Stinger been doing a lot of good hitting out there, does it again, and that breaks up a goose egg for the Independence Dolls.
Lemon Stinger is a graduate from the Rosebud Academy. Hence the skills.
Explains it. I do have to say, I love that we are at a point now where people who are 18 years old and been playing derby for 6 years already are now joining the adult leagues.
The adult leagues. And showing the adults a thing or two about a thing or two.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And Genevieve Moore right through the middle this time for lead jammer.
Out there for Philly, getting knocked to their knees on the inside. Legend of the hit and trample.
And Legend gets a multiplayer block there, probably attempting an assist, but if it blocks the path, it's still a penalty, so that's 5 points on.
That is one of the heartbreakers. You reach for a shirt whip and then get that.
This is an unfortunate time to pick that up for Philly.
Oh, a couple of wacky blocks there off balance, but Trixie Trauma still made contact, slowed her down, but couldn't stop her.
Looks like a direction of play assessed there, 21.
Layout Ali is going to head off to the penalty box.
And drop to the inside there by Long John.
Big pile up with Long John. She can only fall so small with legs that long, but another 5 points there for Rose.
Legend of the Hidden Trample is back, and another cut track on Legend.
And another 5 points up on the board. This is the power jam that wouldn't end for the Axles of Annihilation.
Goes on and on. So far, that's 20 for Genevieve, and looking like a quick 25.
Oh, couldn't stop her. That's a lot of points right now. Rose City Axles of Annihilation starting to put their throat down, their skate down on the throat of Philadelphia right now.
It was unfortunate timing for that. No points in that last pass there. They're going to start Legend out in the penalty box. It's too bad. It's a bummer of a jam for Philly there. They were starting to get some momentum, started taking lead jammer back a little bit. Nice adjustments, started locking down defense. And have a jam like that is rough at that time.
Now, they're down by 106 at this point, but there's still 15 minutes left. It's not over. It's still a long way. And
it's not over, but they need a perfect game from here on out.
They really need to get it. And also, it couldn't hurt for them if Rose City decided to have a big case of the fall-aparts.
Yeah.
So far, no luck. Screaming Beaver, lead jammer.
And it looks like Legend is back. Legend taking Griffin out of her way so she can get her initial pass.
Oh, big hit there. Oh, big hit. It was a slow motion. Lex-Ray Specs hitting Beaver. Beaver slowly goes down to the inside, pops back up, calls off the jam, picking up 3.
Nice defense from Philly, holding off. That was she had a little time in the penalty or in the pack there, and they still hold her to 3. We have a team timeout for Philly. Good timing on that.
That's going to be their first timeout, so still 2 timeouts remaining. Down by a lot with not a lot of time left.
Well, this is a good time, though. You know, especially after that the previous jam. 109 points, 14 and a half minutes. It's going to be big jams and lead jams from here on out for Philly.
Exactly. And moral victories. They just have to go out and try and win every jam for the rest of the game and then see where they are. Yeah. At this point on the bench, you have to quit looking at the scoreboard. Don't look at it at all. Just let your coach tell you how much time's left and don't worry about it. Just go out, put your head down, and play as hard as you possibly can.
Rose are in a comfortable position. They need to just relax. You know, they don't have to. They can just keep themselves on the tracks, keep themselves in containment, keep it very nice, safe play going there for them. They don't have to go for any big hits. They don't have to go for any big plays.
Exactly. Play it safe, play conservatively. If you go out there and you try and put on the show because you want to stomp the other team down, you'll wind up making mistakes, wind up in the box, and open the door for Philadelphia to come back into this game.
Exactly. Vishaka Sion, 808 jamming out there for Rose City.
Oh, but lead jammer there is 1-800-SUICIDE hotline.
Ba-da-ba-ba.
She manages to put her shoulders down, open up the center of the pack, and shoot on through.
Vishaka Sion gets her initial pass through the middle of the wall there.
4-3 pack advantage right now, but SUICIDE hotline gets hit to the outside, calls off the jam after picking up 2.
Almost too conservative that time. They were being very generous with how much time they took.
Exactly.
Now, they had a few extra seconds to maybe call that one off there, get another point or 2.
And I don't think that 30 seconds ever gets thought of enough, where if you just hit it and quit it as fast as possible, you are still burning 30 seconds off every jam, no matter how fast that is. So we'll see what happens now.
That adds up.
It really does. A lot of time gone in between jams.
Especially with the short jams. And there is Amber Costado there.
Young MC trying to get out of the pack, taking another hit there from Monica Geigel. And more hits from Monica Geigel.
Nice catch there. Alicia Nisbet-Smith on the outside with the drop. But not the recycle.
Getting out of the pack. Oh, tries to go for a hip check, but no dice. That's going to be Amber Castellado picking up the lap point already for the next pass.
And does. There's the extra point there.
4-1. Already out of the engagement zone before she passed her, so there was no 5 on the first one, but just a single point on the second one. And, of course, no ghost points, even though the penalty box is empty. So, you know, the scariest type of points there are. Zip Block putting the star up on ours for the first time tonight. Uh-oh. That's her number.
Well, they were going for the power jammers. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, big hop and a jump. Wow.
Someone got something around the outside, though. Genevieve Moore, lead jammer, and
Zip Block picking up the back block. I think as she made the hops to the center, she made contact there with number 365, Copernicus, and knocked her down, so she drew the penalty.
Wide open lane there set up for Genevieve Moore by her blockers, making for an easy pass, and they're going for it again.
Oh, big hit there, 37, X-Ray Specs.
It's a hit there over her opponent.
Oh, and a nice hip check there by number 33, Legend of the Hidden Trample. But she's going to go to the sin bin for that low block.
I was going to say, someone's going to get a low block for that. I don't know who, but someone will get a low block.
A little bit too low of a hip check. Everybody's falling down. One more standing in front of her, out of play, declared. 5 more points on the boards for Rose City.
This is 2 bouts in a row where 2 Rose City teams are playing really good offense, and it's been an opportunity all last year, so it's good to see them doing that this year.
Ziploc out of the pack now and out of the box. And nice work there.
Moore calls it off with 3, and they push 2 centuries, 202 to Philly 72.
11 minutes now. I think at this point you just have to try and play with passion. Play as hard as you can. That power jam, the last one, I think finally did put the game out of reach, but there still is a lot of time left. Anything, of course, can happen.
Well, I like the Ziploc was a great risk-reward move.
Exactly.
Like, all right, we got someone who could definitely make openings, but penalties are going to be a risk. Like, right now, great time to throw everything against the wall, see what sticks. Number 10, Screaming Beaver, forces through in the inside, lead jammer.
Herman Monster out there jamming, just to finally put enough shoulders into enough people to open a hole.
Looks like 322 Sprecht going for a forearm there.
3 points more for Rose City, having a heck of a time calling that off. But in short fuse, the referee's defense, he was screened by the entire Philadelphia blocking team.
You can't see this.
You have tiny little hands and you're behind really large people. Never hurts to yell, I'm calling it. Just throwing that out there for you folks watching at home.
You're an educator. Look at my hands. Vishaka Sion right there, Jamie.
No, really, I'm calling it. Really.
And out of play is warned. Vishaka Sion, lead jammer.
Now, Suicide Hotline has to recycle all the way to the back, hit to the inside again. Great defensive work there by Copernicus.
No pack, warned. Nice response by both teams in the pack there.
Ridden out of bounds by number 28, Elisa Nisbet-Smith.
And that finally gets the go-ahead there for the initial pass. That's called.
And here go another 30 seconds off the clock. 2:14.72.
That was a couple of minutes ago. One thing I wanted to bring up, and it was probably too little too late. Oh, here's another team time off. Team time out, taking off those seconds off the clock. Anyway, what I was going to say is nice adjustment from Philly on the first pass.
Exactly.
But the next step after that is lockdown defense. Once you get that lead jammer, it's about multiple scoring passes from here on out. So they really needed to capitalize on multiple scoring passes. Rose City did a great job going full offense as soon as they didn't have their jammer in anymore. So that was the next opportunity for Philly. Is once you get started to get those lead jammers, once you made that first pass thing going, then how do you respond? Once you get your lead jammer out, what do? Do you get the front? Do you lock down defense? Do you make it hit? You know, you have to have that next step lined up.
Exactly. You have to win one thing and then continue trying to win the small battles. Get in the trenches and make that work for you. But right now, the trench is thoroughly controlled by the Axles of Annihilation. They're doing the little things right and the big things right.
And it adds up. It adds up.
The only thing I'd say they haven't been doing right is the amount of time they've been spending in the penalty box. I believe they still have a large advantage in penalties. By advantage, I mean more of them. Not really an advantage, but it just has not been as big of a factor.
Dancing around the outside, that is Castaldo there.
Young MC trying to get through that purple wall. Just amazing blocking defense. Young MC not having any dice at all.
K2 snuck through on the inside. They didn't even see her coming for a quick 5 points.
Yeah, finally, after bouncing off number 503, Tess Younger, she's able to get out and now on a scoring pass.
Muscles through, trying to fight for the inside. Call's been too late.
Too slow, Kokomo. 4-2 advantage Philadelphia. And I think this was a decent jam by Philadelphia. They outscored them. That's what you have to do, is just go for we're going to win this next jam. We're going to win this next jam. I'm not sure what Miss Fortune is over there saying to her troops, but
she's very smart.
It's true. She's much smarter than I am. So
I love it. I love it. Put Ziploc back out there.
Exactly. It didn't pay off last time, but hey, this now you can start trying weird stuff.
Yeah.
Get some plays going. Philadelphia now shutting down the outside lane.
Yeah. They're sick of that outside lane. Screaming Beaver goes for it, takes the outside after picking off one at a time. Lead jammer.
Stuck on her own player, Slamshine Alley. Now still trying to get in. Big steps, finally carry her through.
Nice, fighting through the inside there for initial pass.
Keeps her feet moving. With Screaming Beaver able to go around the outside, around Lexray Specs, and pick up 4, calls it off.
Well, Rose City set up that play. Their blockers were setting up that pass for Beaver, half a lap before she got there. So that made for a very easy pass for her and those 4 points.
That's true. Rose City winning their earlier game by a bit of a large margin.
Pretty large margin.
Doing pretty well in this one, I gotta say. You gotta be happy with Rose's season so far.
It's when you look at the B teams, they tell the story of what's going on with the competitive travel teams, the Wftda teams.
It's true.
Lisa Nisbet-Smith, last line of defense, but 1-800-SUICIDE hotline gets out. Lead jammer.
Hot on her heels, though. 243. Guinevere Moore. Both of them flying around.
Both attacking the pack. Nice hit to the outside there.
Nothing. Pair of goose eggs, pair of bagels, pair of SpaghettiOs, other assorted round things with a hole in the middle.
All kinds of defense on that setup there from both sides.
True. Great setup by Rose City. Solid wall at the back, but just drifting forward enough to not draw a penalty.
Up until that jam, that was 6 in a row. Lead jammers for Rose City.
Again, we've been saying, I think all day, all night, lead jammer. That's going to win you the games.
There you go. This time on the inside, Shaka Sion, lead jammer.
3-on-3 pack. The extra skater returning right now for Rose City.
Herman Munster gets a quick initial pass there. Herman Monster.
Herman Munster's over there in the uniform.
2-0 there for Rose City.
The other kind of uniform.
That's not confusing.
All right, so just over 5 minutes left. A lot of lessons to be learned, a lot of strategies you can try out at this point. And like you were saying, Jake, throw stuff at the wall, see what sticks.
Exactly. I love the adjustments, and I love they're sticking with it.
Oh.
And a high block on Castaldo there. K2, it's a power jam for Philly. And
Young MC out there takes a huge hit there.
Ziploc going in with the offense and a multiplayer block on Copernicus. It's got to be 5 or 6 for her.
Getting up there for sure. Lemon Stinger with a couple big hits already. Another big hit. But Young MC able to stay up, trying to shoulder her way around. Finally does. Grand Slam, Philadelphia.
Lemon Stinger got quickly into position as the no pack was called. That was good heads-up play, so no one got a play call there.
Lemon Stinger also doing some quarterback in there, saying, hey, you stand here, but not any dice, as Young MC able to sail through.
Right, looks like Hannah Jennings with a little offense and then resets the wall.
And Lemon Stinger again with the hit right there.
Out of play.
Young MC, I believe, is going to be waking up screaming, please don't hit me, Lemon Stinger, please.
We got 3-0 on that last pass there.
So a big jam by Young MC. I think probably still the leading point getter for Philadelphia, but just not the size of Rose City. is rather big.
That was the first multiple scoring jam for Philly this period. So, you know, there was something we talked about, like, where's the extra pass? Where's the extra pass? So it's something they're working on, and they're making adjustments, and it's paying off. Philly lead jammer.
1-800 suicide hotline making her way in her own hole early.
Herman Monster with the big hits on Screaming Beaver. Screaming Beaver gets her initial pass.
Oh, almost getting away with a back block on that with suicide hotline, but
not quick enough on the defensive reset. They're going to trade 3 to 4 for Rose City on that last pass.
suicide hotline comes into the pack and puts her hand on the back of one of the Rose City skaters and did push her out of the wall she was in, but didn't take advantage of it, so no call on that.
She maintained her position, so she didn't advance her position. But yeah, I saw that too. I was like, ooh, playing with fire. And then she got caught up with her own blocker. It's like her own blocker knew and stopped her from getting a penalty.
Don't go right now. I don't want to lose you again. Herman Monster taking some big hits to the outside. Fighting, though. Putting her shoulders down. Charges to the inside. Lead jammer, Philadelphia.
Genevieve Moore, inside, outside, inside again for her initial pass. Great lateral movement.
Yeah, one lateral jammer and one more just up and down jammer out there on the floor. And Herman Monster's going to call off that jam just under 2 minutes.
Point protection from Rose City forced the call off. They got up front. If you're not lead jammer, get to the front. Get all your skaters in the front. Get them in front as quick as possible. If you get lead jammer, your priority should be trapping someone or D'ing up. That's 3 lead jams in a row for Philly, though, Phil.
Yeah, so they're starting to put some things into use, things they can use later. I'm sure the coaches are looking at everybody and saying, who's going to be on my bench in the next game?
I have a couple of great candidates for them.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Vishaka Sion there, lead jammer, very quickly for Rose City.
Young MC trying to get out of the pack, but taking hits everywhere. There's Stinger again. Why would Stinger again with more hits?
Quick pass around the outside for 5 points for Vishaka Sion. It's a cut track for Young MC, and it's back to the principal's office she goes.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice.
I've been sitting on that one for a while. It looks like Vishaka Sion dropped to the outside, cycled to the back here. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the last jam there, though, Phil.
Big hit by Kick Ash, but Sion just bounces off of it, picking up 5 points as you leave. I believe you're right. At this point, it's just clock control. Comes into the pack, does make contact with a couple of people, but they don't fall down. She does, so no call on that one. Knocked out of bounds again. And draws the cut. Great work by Kick Ash on that, drawing that cut. Young MC already out of the penalty box before she gets there. So she'll serve the whole 30 seconds.
The whole 30 seconds. Young MC fighting that front wall, trying to push out 20 feet, but this will definitely be the last jam.
And that's going to take her out of the engagement zone. One initial pass complete for Young MC. 30 seconds left. Time has expired on the clock.
We got 24 seconds left in the jam clock, and then it will be the end of the bout. Young MC fighting for more points, and there's a high block sending her to the...
Made arm contact as she was trying to get around, you'll never guess who, Lemon Stinger, and makes contact with her head, so she'll go to the sin bin for the high block on Lemon Stinger.
I think Lemon Stinger just wants to hit everybody right now. That looks like a direction I can bring us 5 more points for City on by Young MC. That is time, Phil. 247 to 93.
It's one heck of a game, though. I think both of these teams can take some things away from this game. Things that they were doing that were working really well, and some things that they need to work on. Make some adjustments and come back. I gotta say, congratulations, Rose City. Axles of Annihilation had a great game, but I think penalty trouble could doom them in the long term. That's one of the points they could start working on.
Yeah, stay on the track is huge for them, but I mean the opportunities they capitalized on, lead jammer, defense, offense resetting, all that stuff was great. That worked out really well for them. But yeah, moving forward, stay on the track. It could have been an even bigger lead. Philly, great adjustments. Work on getting lead jammer plays in there. Great adjustments with the jammer lineup. That was one of my favorite things to see.
And then they did finally start shutting down that the outside line towards the second period.
Yes.
But and started controlling that. That's one thing I think they need to make those adjustments just a little bit earlier, and that could start paying dividends. But I saw some good things out there from them. There's some good talent on this team. I think they'll do well, but just not in this particular game.
From my understanding, I was talking to Miss Fortune, there was a lot of skaters that transfer in, and so it might just be this is an opportunity for them to learn to work together and learn each other as a team. But I think they're a strong team, and they're set up for great stuff in the future.
Exactly. So I'm Phil Dirt.
I'm just Jake.
We'll see you again here shortly. Thanks for joining us on the Big O on WFTDA.tv.
You're watching WFTDA.tv. My name is Brenda Gold, and I've been at Rydell for 36 years almost. Everything is done by hand, basically. Just one pair actually going through at a time then. Some of them are multiple colors where it'll have 5, 6 colors, metallics, the different colored full grains, you name it. Some of them are pretty wild. To me, the skaters are really important because that's what keeps us going here. It's the consumer or the skater that decides, okay, is it good enough for me or not? We want them to be happy, that's for sure.
Skate Shop. I'm Megatron, joined as usual by Pitchett and by the announcer King from Rose City. How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Excellent. Let's talk about the game that we just watched on track 1 here, the Rose City B team versus the Philly B team, Axles of Annihilation and Independence Dolls.
Well, I talked about some of the keys of the game, and with Philly, one of the main keys was to contain the jammer. And when the Rose City jammer got out, they needed to stop the bleeding and get their jammer out by playing some offense. And some of the points on the track, they had too many lead jammers, or I should say Rose City had way too many lead jammers. They almost doubled what Philly did out there on the track. And there was also multiple scoring by Rose City. They had 14 multiple scoring passes as opposed to Philly only having 2. Now with Rose City staying on the track, well, they had some penalty problems, but it didn't seem to affect them as they had more lead jammer statuses out there. They really focused on the D. They locked down that jammer, and we had a final score of 247 to Philly's 93.
Yeah, and it was a fun game to watch at the very least. And I'm, like we said earlier, I'm really excited that so many teams have brought B teams. We got the Texas B team, they got the Philly B team, Rose City's B team, Emerald City has their B team here. So lots of B team action, getting all of the skaters that are part of the larger charter on their leagues, a lot of tournament experience that they're going to need as these teams grow and get better. Let's talk about one of the games that happened over on track 3. The first men's game of the day, Drive-By City versus the Deep Valley Belligerents. I walked over at the very last jam of that game, and it was awesome. Drive-By was up by 8 points. It was 182 to 190, and 182 to 190, and they were mere seconds. I talked to their coach, Blackstar, and she said that as they were up by 8, she looked out, she saw that their jammer had lead, and she heard her her other coach, her bench manager, say that Deep Valley Belligerents did not have a timeout. And so in her head, she heard, call it off, and then call a timeout. So she did. She yelled at her jammer to call it off, and then she called the timeout, giving Deep Valley the opportunity for one more jam. Drive-By City got a jammer penalty in that last jam. Deep Valley Belligerents scored 10 on the unopposed power jam. They had 2 grand slams. They went up 192 to 190 at the very end of that game. So like the last jam of that game was super exciting. And this is Deep Valley's first win against Drive-By City.
I think you're wrong about that. That's their second win.
Is it their second?
Yeah. But either way, the game was a great game, and each team took the turns leading the game. Drive-by led for most of the second half. Deep Valley led for most of the first half. It was a good, solid roller derby game, and it hurts Drive-by to lose in that last jam like that, but it happens, right? And it makes for good roller derby. Luckily for us as spectators, good stuff.
Yeah, it was an amazing game. And it makes me wonder how they would have done if they would have had Raven Buster on their roster. You know, as we know, he hurt himself while they were in London. And so on track 2, the Aldrich versus Arizona game was just ending as we were starting, so we don't have a final score there.
AZRD was up by about 75 points when I walked away, so we can feel pretty secure in AZRD winning that game. But I think it was probably a better game than what AZRD had planned for. I'm sure they thought that they were going to be able to win by more points than that, and it didn't happen. So Ulrike showing up pretty strong.
The halftime score of that game was 132-86 Arizona, and that's a good halftime score for Ulrike. And one thing that I noticed as I was watching just momentarily over there was when Atomatrix was jamming, she would get out, she would be lead jammer, but instead of just taking off to go score points, she would slow down, she would turn around, she would look to see what her pack was doing, and then she would go. So on the one hand, I don't know that they were playing as cutthroat as maybe you might need to if you're looking for ranking points.
Well, because AZRD was having a little bit of trouble holding on to the Ulrike jammer, I think what they were doing was using it as an opportunity to practice eating the baby, right? They were trying to grab that jammer and drag that jammer back to the pack. They were actually doing that in theory, in practice, a couple of times, never really all that successful, so it was good for them to try it out.
On track 3, the halftime update from the Treasure Valley versus Sac City game. Treasure Valley was up by 10, 74-64, but that was another good, a really amazing game that was going on. At one point, Sac City's entire pack ate the baby and soul crushed Treasure Valley's entire pack and just brought them all the way back. So very, very excellent game between Boise and Sacramento.
Once again, track 3, the track to watch today.
Yeah.
All the games on track 3 have been close and good, solid games. So, I don't know. We're going to have to keep our eye on track 3.
Yeah, for sure. We have an international update from Beach Brawl, another one. We told you earlier that Bogota, Colombia's Rock and Roller Queens defeated Tallahassee 201-182, and now we have an update that Berlin's Bear City they didn't win, but they had a very close bout against DC, and DC won that one 151-117, but good showing from the ladies from Berlin out at Beach Brawl, so that's really cool. Coming up on this track right behind us, we're going to have Rose City's A-Team versus Philly's A-Team.
Wow.
That's going to be a fantastic game. If we saw anything from Rose City earlier today,
Yeah.
they look like they are out for blood.
They are a machine. I tell you, up there in the Rose City, I love watching them play. I love watching them skate. They've got some great defense, followed up by some jammers like Scald Eagle and Much Mayhem. They are a force to be contended with, so let's see what happens.
And this is going to be the first time that we've seen Philly's A-Team, so I'm very excited to see what they bring to the table this weekend. On track 2, we've got another men's game coming up. We've got Salem versus the host of the men's, Lane County
Concussions.
And then on track 3, we're going to have Silicon Valley and Pikes Peak, both in their second games of the day. And that should be a pretty...
Well, if history holds true, right, track 3's the track, so
Yeah.
Silicon Valley and Pikes Peak should be a close game. We'll go watch it.
For sure. And I'm very excited about what's going to happen here right behind us. We've only got a few minutes before this game starts at 6 p.m. But I think lots going on right now. We're going to go check in on what's happening on track 2 and track 3. And we'll bring you updates after the Philly versus Rose City game. And
Don't go anywhere. Still tons of great roller derby happening here tonight.
We're going to have a couple good interviews after that game as well. And King, thank you very much for sitting in with us.
Thank you very much.
And for the DerbyDeeds.com event desk here at the Big O, brought to you by Adam Wheels, I'm Megatron.
I'm Pitchit.
Thank you very much for watching, and we will check in with you after this next game.